It feels like it's just a matter of time now for Roman Reigns to return to WWE. With everything that happened on SmackDown on Friday night, it really does seem like SummerSlam is the moment that the tribal chief, the true tribal chief, makes his return. SmackDown was very interesting, and just for a couple of reasons. A lot of it surrounding, well, I think Randy Orton. We'll talk about Roman Reigns in just a moment here. But while I found that SmackDown was kind of okay this week, one of the things that stood out to me was Randy Orton in all of this. We saw at the end of SmackDown where Randy Orton got completely destroyed by Jacob Fatu and the rest of the bloodline. He has been taken out. But before that, we did get the interesting moment of Cody and Randy sitting together backstage, sitting in the locker room, both of them sitting next to each other, but with the WWE Championship in the middle. And Randy Orton making a point, making it very clear that he will have his back, but people are going to be coming after him for that. Now, once all this bloodline stuff is done, people are coming for that championship. And that is super interesting because if you have watched Randy over the last couple of months with Cody, every time they're kind of around each other, Randy always looks like he's looking at that belt. Like he's just eyeing it just a little bit. And in fact, I was at Money in the Bank, and when they were in the ring together, especially at the very end, even when it was like the TV cameras were kind of off, I really thought in those final moments of the bloodline when they won, and a lot of the crowd thought this too, that Randy Orton was going to turn around and RKO Cody Rhodes. So I think it's inevitable. I think we are eventually going to see that happen, and I think this is kind of the starting point of all of that. What I mean is, you got kind of two narratives happening at the same time, where you have Randy and Cody going on in one path. You also have Roman, Cody and the bloodline and all that going on the other path, and it's all happening at the same time. I think with Randy getting taken out, he's gonna have to come back in the next couple of weeks right before SummerSlam, and maybe it's going to be tag team match with him, Kevin Owens going up against the bloodline, or maybe it's going to be Randy and Jacob Fatu one-on-one, which could be really cool at SummerSlam because it's a lot of Jacob Fatu taking out Randy Orton, and that could be a really killer match. But with Randy's position of people coming after his title and that he always has his back, they could really tell an interesting story at like WrestleMania 41, where Randy finally snaps and takes out Cody Rhodes, and the story is not only their history together, but that Randy feels like, I've had your back this whole time and I keep getting destroyed. I keep helping you out, but you know, you're too busy with the bloodline and all this stuff. You don't have my back. Whatever it's gonna be, I think eventually we are gonna get that match. But one match that I know we are going to get at some point is going to be Roman versus Solo Sikoa. So Solo talking to the ring, having that promo discussing how he is the tribal chief, Roman's gone, all of that stuff again and again, and really solidifying or trying to solidify himself, his character, as the leader of the bloodline, and talking about how if Roman ever comes back, that he's got to deal with all this new bloodline stuff. Paul Heyman has been taken out, he's off TV. It really feels like the end of SummerSlam is going to be Roman Reigns' big triumphant return, and that's what we really want to talk about today is how does Roman Reigns return to WWE? And what I mean is not only the initial return at presumably SummerSlam, but what does the rest of the year look like with Roman? So my personal prediction here, you guys comment below, let me know what you think it should look like, sound like, how is Roman going to come back? To me, it is SummerSlam. It's going to be the Cody and Solo match, and at the very end, by hook or by crook, Cody is going to retain his title. That's my personal feeling. I don't think Solo's winning that belt, but I do think you will get a schmozzy finish, ref bump, all of that stuff, like with the bloodline, and they start just destroying Cody Rhodes. Maybe we get Randy and Kevin Owens trying to help him out again, but maybe they play into them being all injured and Cody is on his own. Because that's the thing with Randy being taken out, Kevin Owens being off TV, you need Cody to just be alone. And now he has nobody else to help him other than the tribal chief, other than Roman Reigns. So I think somehow Cody's gonna get those crossroads in on Solo and just sneak out a win, but immediately I think they turn around and the bloodline just gangs up on Cody, and they play into the fact that Kevin Owens is out, Randy is out, there's nobody left, and then boom, Roman's music hit, and you will get maybe Paul Heyman just coming out and just says, ladies and gentlemen, here is your tribal chief, and then Roman's music hits and he comes out, and Roman coming out is going to be arguably one of the biggest pops of the modern era. His return coming in as a solidified baby face, not a tweener, not playing into the cool heel Roman. He's going to come back as a monster baby face. Bigger than Cody, in my opinion. The Roman chants have been there every single week. Paul Heyman, when he did his promo and did not acknowledge the bloodline and Solo Sikoa, Paul Heyman was a babyface in that moment in the Garden. They're going to do this again, and it's going to be at SummerSlam. Roman coming out and battling the bloodline is exactly what needs to happen. He'll fend them off, and then it's going to plant the seeds for what's next. And it will be him, my guess is him and Cody standing tall side by side, just looking at each other, because Cody's always talked about just the respect he has for Roman. He also has the history of Paul Heyman and his family, so there's like this underlying respect there. And I think it's going to be one of those things where the two of them, maybe they team up. It's going to be very interesting to see how they pull this off, because once Roman comes back, are we going to get him on TV every week? No, I don't think that's going to happen. I think we get traditional Roman where he comes back from time to time. But there's going to be questions needing answers. And I think what they're going to do is that the SmackDown after SummerSlam, you need Roman Reigns coming out in the ring, dropping a promo with Paul Heyman next to him, being just completely serious Roman Reigns, and giving us an indication of where they are headed next. We've got Bash at Berlin. I don't know if it happens there. I think they really want to hold things off and they take it the distance and we wait until maybe Survivor Series, because a lot of this is just building to Solo versus Roman, right? But I don't know if they're going to want to play that right away. And Roman doesn't come on TV very often. He doesn't wrestle very often. Like, we may not get this one-on-one match of Solo and Roman. We might not get it until the Royal Rumble in January. They could do a multi-man match at War Games if they want to do War Games. But there's so many avenues they can go with Roman Reigns and this entire story arc. And the thing is too, is what I think we need to remember is WWE and the Bloodline story and all this stuff, they play long-term. They do long-term storytelling now. And what we are getting month to month is not these quick turnarounds with Triple H. He wants to play these things out very, very long. And the Bloodline especially, it's a long story. So where we might assume, okay, he's gonna return, fight Solo at Bash in Berlin, then War Games with the Usos, then WrestleMania with The Rock. To me, that's wonderful, but to me, that is all so crammed in and jam-packed. We just got Jacob Fatu. We just established Solo in character as new leader of Bloodline. This has all just happened. And I think with WWE and Triple H's storytelling, they want to slow this thing down, and I think they can. Like, we haven't even mentioned or had drops of Jimmy and Jay returning. Jimmy needs to return to get revenge on Bloodline. And so with Roman's return, it could be the beginning, the catalyst for him recruiting the original Bloodline. Maybe it even includes Sami Zayn. But that is a big story piece in itself. Maybe it does culminate with one match at Survivor Series. And if they did Survivor Series with Roman and Jimmy and Jay and let's say Sammy, or it was Cody, I think you still need new Bloodline to look strong. Every week now, since this new Bloodline has completely formed, they keep taking all of the pieces out to look stronger and stronger and stronger. And Solo needs to take the loss and probably will take the loss at SummerSlam. But beyond that, you still need to keep him strong and keep the new Bloodline very strong. So I could see that if they did a War Games match, I could see the faces losing. They lost that Money in the Bank, and you don't have to get Roman pinned. Roman can get taken out by like Jacob Fatu, which would be so cool. But you could get Roman taken out, and you can have Jimmy or Jay take the pin at War Games. And then maybe it's like you're really looking then at Road to WrestleMania, and you get to January where it might be Solo versus Roman. Beyond that, are we gonna get at 41 Rock versus Roman? I'm looking at the timeline here, everybody, and I just feel like it's so tight. It's not that long to WrestleMania. And with this story and Roman's return, it could be just a couple of appearances, maybe a match, a multi-man match at Survivor Series. But like Solo, if they build it right, you could do Solo versus Roman at WrestleMania. Doesn't mean that that's gonna main event, but it could main event night one of WrestleMania if the story is right. We had the tag team titles as the main event of WrestleMania night one. You can do it again where it's going to be Roman, Solo. That could be your Mania main event for one night, and do like Randy and Cody on the other night or something like that. But it's so interesting to see the ways and the directions that they could go with the entire saga, the Roman Reigns story, and the return at SummerSlam, I think is going to be absolutely massive. Thanks for watching, and if you guys want to support the channel, please hit the subscribe button. It helps out a lot, and you can watch one of these videos right here for WWE. Have a great day. See ya.